Yeah, because people see like an hour and a half on there, and they're like, I don't got that kind of time. Like when I scroll through the videos I watch, I'm looking for like 10 to 30 minute range. Like
Actually, I like the long.
I do too. I
I
watch.
like.
There's certain podcasts where I'll watch that fucker through and through, and then sometimes I even watch them through again.
Yeah.
The same ones.
Like what ones do you watch?
So that first smoke of the day, depending on the guest, there's some of their episodes I haven't even watched because I'm like,
Right.
fuck that guy.
Do you see Squints on there?
Yeah, they did a real interesting one last week with. Well, that's not out yet. It's on their Patreon, I think, but they did one with Ramsey and Josh Newlinger. They just released their own fertilizer. Josh is a guy who was at Netafim for years, and then Ramsey is a guy who was at Grodan for years, and then at they both went to Arroyo basically together as a package unit.
Okay.
But those dudes are sick, like with their irrigation tech, and they're pretty dialed. That's like who I kind of try to see what they're doing.
I should have stayed in fucking college and become like a fucking irrigation expert or something.
And like I don't even
Built a
know if
fucking
they're
irrigation company.
I don't know if they're college educated or not, but they're just their drive to get the performance out of the plant is what keeps me watching what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're trying to do.
For real. Yeah, some of the tech that's coming out now is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and so the one guy, Josh, breaks it down really scientifically, and then Ramsey kind of layman's on everybody.
Yeah.
So everyone can kind of get the gist. But super cool stuff they're doing.
That's dope. I'm pretty excited about this fucking nursery.
So the nursery has big potential, man. That everyone we sold cuts to last year was like stoked, super stoked.
Yeah, those cuts looked fucking amazing. They were thick
They're
as
hitters,
fuck.
yeah. And for the outdoor guys, we do at least 2 days outside before they get them.
Right.
So they're already ready to just stick in the dirt. They don't even have to
harden
them or try to get them used to the sun, and that definitely saves time. And if you didn't know that, like our neighbors,
Right.
you might have fried all your plants right off the rip and been pissed at us, right?
For real.
Were
those guys pissed?
No, because we hardened them off. We gave them hitters ready to go, right?
Okay,
like if they didn't know to harden them off and they just stuck them out there and half of them shriveled up and died, then they'd have probably been like, what the fuck?
Yeah, for sure. I guess when I look at like the California market and the Michigan market, that is one thing that's so different from California.
Oh yeah.
The fact that there's no real fucking nurseries here.
And it's weird, like we're kind of in this weird spot where I basically grew up getting every cut that I ever wanted for free or for $5 a cut, right? And elites, right? Like the best of the best cuts, the ones that people drool over. And now it seems there's these guys on Instagram selling, they'll have a strain list and there's 30 different cultivars on there, and they want $250 all the way to $5,000 depending on what it is for one cutting. And it's like, I get it, they're getting them out there, but them dudes are hustling. They're killing it. If they're selling them to Chad at that price, more power to them for sure. But don't sell them to me for that. Like, come on, man. I need a little break there.
A little love, a little legacy love. Come on.
Right.
No, and the crazy thing is that people in the state are paying that.
People are paying. I mean, I'd pay it. Like if it was something that I really wanted and I could verify that chain of custody of where that cutting came from, and it might be worth it. The problem is everyone's like attention span is this big nowadays.
Right.
So you just dialed in a strain, now something else comes out and you just got that one dialed, but now you're trying to dial this new one. You're never able to dial anymore, right? Like you're always trying to keep up. So that's kind of tough with the market, and you got to do what you got to do to move product, but makes it tough as cultivators, especially if there's something that you personally like. You always try to keep something that you like personally in the garden, and if that ain't moving, then it's probably not staying in the garden, which kind of sucks,
Yeah.
But
how do you verify the chain of custody? Like going through and talking to people, like, does so and so have your cut?
well, I mean, people do that for sure, but a lot of people, like, there's certain guys that are trusted. Um, that's one way to get them from a reputable uh, nursery.
Right.
And then I guess another way would be, it's tricky. That's one of those things that can go like this real quick, and nothing's set in stone there. But there's certain guys that definitely have that reputation of giving you what they say it is, right?
Yeah. What's the definition of a Chad?
Chad? He definitely don't smoke weed, or if he does smoke weed, he doesn't know what good weed tastes like. Chad, he's all about doing coke at strip clubs and partying dad's money away while trying to run a fucking cannabis company with no clue.
Yeah, I think that's
Something to that effect.
that seems
That's
pretty accurate.
that's like my version of Chad in my head. But
yeah. I mean, to me, it's like it's somebody who's not from the community, who has either raised money or comes from money and has deep ass pockets, threw a shitload of money into this industry and is fucking tanking right now.
and definitely has never grown weed when it was illegal.
Right.
That's one key factor.
Yeah.
Speaking of factor,
Brought to you by Factor.
brought to you by Factor. Yeah, the new ABDs, these are kind of hitting right now. Pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the new Factor pen?
Yeah. Live.
Is it?
That's white rounds right there. This is the R&D'er.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
That's a good thing about being
So I
part
got
of the
a
R&D
theory.
crew, right?
I got a theory on these AVDs. It seems like they have like the most air volume in the mouthpiece,
Yeah.
and I think that has something to do with how they smoke. I don't know.
What
It's
does
just-
AVD stand for? Air Volume Distributor?
That's a good question. AVD, yeah, that's right. But yeah, for sure. Like this is one of the when they did the first round of R&Ds. This is like the only cart that I ever smoked like all the way through without like, fuck that, you can have it or whatever,
Yeah. That's dope. I mean, it definitely.
And I think these ones are hemp cased, right? Yeah. Right. I could be wrong on that hemp thing, but I think they have some hemp
That's pretty dope.
material in the body of it. Yeah.
And it's chargeable.
Yeah, it's chargeable, which is cool. Like back in the day, the disposables never had a charge port, so
No.
if you got fucked on the battery, you were done.
Yeah, or if you lost it in your truck for like
Yeah.
2 months and you found it again,
you
it's
were
just
screwed.
it's
Yeah.
crap, So that's dope. Well, I'm glad to see that the 6 months of R&D on disposable vape pens has finally come to.
Not everyone's sold on them yet,
No?
but I am. I like them. Yeah, I like that one.
I
Out of all the ones I've tried, that's the one.
I just mentioned to people last week that
I
we
know.
don't have so much R&D time these days, so
Got to get it out
I
there.
get that shit out. Analysis paralysis. Fucking send it.
It seems like the market is not either matured or doesn't have the money out here. I don't know what it is exactly, like, but they don't give a fuck. They want cheap, and they don't even say cheap and best. They just say cheap.
Cheap.
What's
I
the
don't-
cheapest?
See, I don't think that this market is ever going to mature.
Yeah, you're gonna have your pockets of guys here and there, that know what good flower is. And the thing is there's so much Chad weed out there that they'll never fucking know, right? And they just keep buying cheap. Well, that drives the price down, so that creates that little cheap market that never can weed out all the fucking Chad weed.
Yeah, I just if you think about it in terms of like beer, for instance, right? Like in California,
Yeah,
everybody switched to microbrews, right?
yeah.
Like me and my friends were like the last people in the state drinking fucking Coors and Bud Light.
Yeah, see, I'm not a beer guy, but when I drink, I want something light, like a Coors fucking Light.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but you like really good weed,
Right.
right? But like I think that this state will always be like Bush Light. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to spend the money. There's going to be, like you said, pockets southeast of Detroit.
Get the orange camo edition Bush Light and hunting season.
Yeah, And so I wonder about a bunch of things in this state. Like we switched our whole retail model to like a more modern retail setup. You know, we dropped our SKUs down. We run
Yeah.
this just in time inventory system. You know, and then the stores that are really doing well are the stores that are like legacy stores where they have fucking 1,000 SKUs. They're still selling deli style. Like we're doing a trial right now to go back to deli
I think
style.
we need to do deli because then you can sell grams, bro. I've been saying that for a while now, but no one listens to me. If you got to, I mean, how long does it take a bud tender to weigh up a gram on a skis? I mean, they're doing that like, boom.
I mean, like operationally, it's a headache.
Sure, for sure, but like,
On
how
a
much of the
number of
market are you
fronts.
missing? You know,
On a number of fronts. But the
Yeah.
thing is like it goes back to like that this market is not maturing, right?
Yeah.
Like the people here want it the way it was,
Yeah.
right? Like the industry is supposed to be transforming into a consumer packaged goods industry. Like you can't go to Meijer and get like a Dove bar soap by the gram, right?
Right.
It's like everything's supposed to be prepackaged. That's how this industry is supposed to be moving, and it seems to be moving backwards.
Yeah, I mean, I just think to do the deli thing so you can touch every piece of the market, right? Like if someone wants to go in there and they don't want to buy an eighth, they want to buy a gram of this, a gram of that, a gram of this, a gram of that. They want to spend their money how they want to spend their money, right? Not how you want them to spend their money. So there's that aspect to it, right? And you know, not everyone's got $50 to go spend on weed fucking every week or every day or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
we're gonna try it. I think we're trying
and I
three.
would create a SKU of, you know, I don't know how that works with SKUs with the deli style, but you know, you want to buy a 0.5, we'll sell it to you, right? Like it is what it is. Might
Yeah.
cost more in your debit card transaction fee than the actual half gram of weed, but you know,
Yeah.
um, I people like options, right?
You might as well just buy a pre roll.
Yeah, but some people want to roll it themselves, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna try it. You know, we're rolling out 3 strains in the stores right
I
now,
bet you it does well.
deli style.
I bet you it'll do well.
I'm gonna die if the stores just like if, but you know, like how much can business go up because you switch to deli style?
Yeah,
Because
I
like,
just see it like for the caddy stuff right now. We're only offering an ounce and a half ounce, right? Like
right.
I want an eighth of that, or I want a gram of that, and you know, give them what they want.
It definitely offers flexibility. Like you know,
Are you gonna do? Are you putting it in a bag, or is it just gonna be like a clear Ziploc type deal with a sticker on it,
I don't know.
a metric sticker or whatever?
I think we're doing clear. I think we're just doing clear bags,
Yeah.
not branded.
Yep.
Um,
Cheap.
yeah,
Yeah.
cheap.
I would do that too. Then you just put the little batch sticker on it and all that, right?
Yeah, it should.
Did you ever go to the health center on East 14th in San Leandro? It was like back in the purple crazy days. So you go in there and they'd have Granddaddy Purple, Purple Urkel, and some random like Midnight Purple that was basically Granddaddy or Urkel, and then like one green strain of like Afgoo or something. And but it was all purples. It was all a la carte. And the, they call the purple store? Yeah, we called it the hood store instead of the health center. You know, the hood center because it was, you know, no, it was San Leandro, unincorporated. Yeah, yeah. It was all deli style though, and the tender would be so lit in there, and he would like smell each nug as he put it in the bag for you. It's like, come on, bro, you don't gotta smell every nug, right? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's crazy how much it's changed, right? Like you got to be careful, even like you know, dudes who are working in the field. We were doing the fucking the little flyer right for Charlie's thing. It's like he was in the field with an ungloved hand on, and you don't want to put that out. Like, of course, you don't have gloves on in the field all the time. It's not like he was like finger fucking the plants, but
Yeah.
just the fucking
Well,
perception
some
of
Chad
that. Right.
commented on something, and you know that's what kind of sparked that whole thing off. It's
Oh,
like
was it?
that's what happened. Yeah, some Karen actually, not a Chad. It was a Karen.
Fucking Karen.
Yeah, she got in there. She slid in his DM and told him that, you know, she had a problem with it, basically. Yeah.
with his hairy knuckles in the weed.
Well, I don't know if it was that one. It might have been something about a guy who had like a little scruffy facial hair, not a beard. He didn't
Yeah.
have a beard net on, you know?
Oh,
It's like, come on, that shit kind of pisses me off, you know? It's like, you do you, we'll do us, and
bro, the world is so fucking sensitive right now. Are
that's
you on
great.
Twitter?
No.
You should be. That's where all the outrage is at.
So my boy tried to get me on there, and he was sending me like crazy Asian dudes with like Hitler mustaches on there and wild stuff, and I was like, this is too much.
The shit that I've been seeing. There's all these
yeah,
like,
bro, like some troll stuff, you know, like super trigger troll stuff.
there's all these like accounts like libs of TikTok and like these
Yeah,
anti woke accounts.
right.
But there's some wild shit going on in the world, and I find out about a lot of it from Twitter because I don't watch the fucking news.
Yeah, I don't watch news either.
You got any strains that you're excited about right now?
Yeah, we got some new stuff. New to me, new to us. We have a Gelinade cut that's pretty fire, verified, chain of custody.
Chain of custody, all right.
A Skittles or a Z, you know, whatever you want to call it, depending if you don't want to get sued.
Yeah, what did happen with the Skittles?
Just, you know, I think trademark infringement, that whole deal, and they went pretty hard against those dudes, I think.
Yeah.
But sucks for them.
I always wondered about that though. Every time I saw them, like, how can these dudes call this shit Skittles and Runts? And
well, it had a Z and a Z, not a S and a S on the front and the end, you know?
I mean, it doesn't matter. Those are huge, you know, Mars fucking corporation.
Yeah, they're not playing.
They'll fucking eat your fucking lunch.
Yeah, they're not playing. I think Runts can get away with it maybe because Runts is also means something else. It's not, Skittles is a very unique to that candy word, right? Like where runt, you can be a runt plant, you can be a runt of the litter, and there's also Runts candy, right?
But like the design
Skittles isn't a real word.
You know, like the design of the packaging and shit even looked like candy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the shit that I always.
I mean, there's basically every candy under the sun now. You got Nerds, Runts, Skittles, you know, all the sweet candies. Yep. Yep. Sweet tarts. Sweet tarts with an S, sweet tarts with a Z.
At some point, do you think they stopped doing that? Because, like, there are a lot of states now where Zyn, for instance, Zyn, we love you.
Florida.
Like California, Massachusetts, they can only sell chill and smooth. I think
well, Florida on their weed, you can't have any kind of, you know, this on it. Has to be plain.
Straight medical.
Yeah. Plain with just medical. You know, basic lettering.
Yeah. No branding. Yeah, Florida is super interesting. I've been talking to a couple.
Corrupt.
So corrupt. You see the fucking the CEO's husband just got 3 years and a $1.25 million fine.
Really?
3 years Fed time for. So he bribed or was in collusion with one of the state officials to make it so that your nursery had to have been in business for 30 years. 30 years,
yeah,
to get licensed.
Yeah.
30 years. Just like basically excluding anybody who hadn't started their business. Like, could you imagine if you started your shit 29 years ago?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's stupid.
So fucking corrupt.
Arbitrary.
Yeah.
Arbitrary to favor him.
Yeah, it was just to favor him, and it happened to also favor the dude from the state that was working with him. So yeah, he got.
Yeah, and wasn't one of the guys getting like a piece of every single license fee or something like that? Or
I don't know about that, but
yeah,
the license fee just to apply is $165,000,
and it's not a guarantee.
Not guaranteed. And like they're opening it up.
Come again.
They're opening it, but it's. I mean, I like that model. Right? They're getting their money off those application fees. They're not getting their money off the state taxes, right? They're not like the people aren't getting raped on taxes when they're fucking buying. Like,
no, that is a good model if you look at it like that.
Hit the cannabis companies for the money. You know, you want to play ball? Come drop 165 G's. Like, we're gonna get our money right there instead of a Michigan model where it's like $3,000 license fee. You know, everybody, if you got $3,000, come on in. Like, give me a fucking break. That's why this state wound up being such a dumpster fire. Yeah. When I applied at first, you had to show like
crazy stuff.
Yeah, I had to show significant financial assets. Yeah. And it was $6,000 per license to apply. and then you had to show X number of dollars in assets per license you apply for, whatever.
Yeah.
Then like 3 months later, they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Anybody can apply. You don't have to show finances. And we'll cut the fucking license fee in half. And then we'll also cut the application fee in half. So it just got dumpster fire
Flooded.
cheap.
Yeah. Every Chad under the sun is going to start a cannabis grow in
Every
Michigan.
Chad and Brad and fucking everybody under the sun came to Michigan. Yeah. And I mean, luckily, you know, I think we're going to start seeing in the next like 6 months, what does the market really look like here? Because we had been so impacted by black market material coming from California, Oklahoma. I mean, people were doing thousands and thousands of liters and thousands of pounds per month brought in from out of state. And
I mean, I still don't get how they were selling like distillate so cheap like that, like $900.
Yeah, they were just buying conversion oil and bringing it in.
Oh yeah, that's why it was conversion oil.
It's all conversion oil.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. And now, luckily, Brian Hand is like really cracking down on people. Like you saw, Fuego got their license suspended.
They had drums of contaminated. Wasn't that what it was?
They had everything under the sun. They had contaminated. They had black market material. Oof. They had like literally every single like kind of fucking license.
Are they a Chad company?
No.
They're legacy. It's a legacy dude.
Legacy dudes. A lot of the dudes in Michigan that are doing bad shit are legacy dudes, you know?
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where it was like, you had to do it. I think I feel like we were like the only people who weren't doing it.
Yeah.
And at a certain point too, it's like, well, fuck, we're going to like have to start doing this soon just to like make
survive. Yeah.
You know, but now the shit has turned around. The price is up 100% in like 2 months from him cracking down on this shit.
It's awesome.
And they're hitting. I heard that he went back to the beginning of the market, right? Because the old head of the CRA, he didn't look into anything. So if an employee from your company complained and said, these guys are doing all kinds of illegal shit, they didn't do anything about it. And so this dude has like a stack of complaints against licenses. So they just went back to the beginning and started going through all the old shit and cracking down on people. So
yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're playing by the rules and you know other people aren't. It just makes it tough to survive for sure. And we definitely have seen an uptick in pricing, which is great because that's what we needed to stay.
Yeah, for real.
Stay in biz, you know.
And you know what else it brings up is like when we were still doing this back in California in the hills and people started going wreck and neighbors were snitching and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was pissed. I couldn't believe it. Who the fuck would snitch on their neighbors? And, you know, we didn't snitch here, but you start feeling like, okay, now I understand what they were doing, right? Like they were protecting their neck.
Right.
You know, because
they got everything they ever had sunk into it and you're watching it all crumble.
And you're right next door to them with a fucking crew of trimmigrants and black market shit.
There was a lot of that going on in California. You know, rec companies snitching on black market stuff, and you know, I don't agree with that for sure. But I like you say, you know, you can start to understand why. But if you're a Chad company snitching, like. I just don't know what to say there, bro. You gotta go. Go home, Chad.
You know, I mean, ultimately, like, who's winning? The legacy brands are winning, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do you think that the biggest brands in the United States are all legacy brands?
I mean, because they have the best weed. Doesn't really get much more complicated than that, right?
Yeah. Best weeds, best branding. From the culture,
best varieties of strains, and definitely, you know, flavor's everything. So if you got good flavor, you're gonna be relevant. You're smoking cardboard weed, I'm not gonna buy that again, right?
Right, and that's why
if you know any better,
right? Well, I mean, that's why people from Illinois come to Michigan, right? Because even though Michigan doesn't have necessarily fire like California.
I mean, Michigan's got some pretty.
It's not full of MSOs, right?
Yeah.
You know, Illinois is full of MSOs. Like nobody wants to buy your fucking Sunnyside
Yeah.
Delight,
Yeah.
shit weed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a decent amount of legacy people in this market, which is,
In Michigan, for sure, there's a huge caregiver market. There's still hella people who have med cards.
yeah.
There's 30,000 registered caregivers in the state still.
Still, damn.
Yeah.
What about Detroit's finally wrecked now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Detroit is finally wrecked now. So I don't know what that does to the med market in the state.
It's
Like
gonna kill it.
it's gonna kill it. I don't understand. I don't really understand the idea behind like keeping the med market around. I think a lot of people don't understand. They're like,
Well,
I'm okay with medical marijuana, but I'm not okay with recreational. Like it's the
one
same fucking thing.
one thing is testing standards for medical patients, like having those CFU counts. But again, with the
Sure.
CFU stuff, we don't know
It's arbitrary.
it's arbitrary.
Right.
So
It's like, did you prove that if somebody has some certain sort of cancer, that CFU count will keep them from getting cancer or their cancer from getting worse? Or...
right, yeah, it's basically to help prevent infection, I think. But I'm not a fucking doctor. I don't know.
Me
Nobody
neither.
does.
I'm not a
But
doctor.
the CFU count is 10% of what the rec count is.
Right.
10,000 versus 100,000. So there's that.
It's extreme.
Whatever that's worth to you.
Yeah. What do you got to say to the Chads out there?
Go
Trying
home.
to go home. Go home, Chad.
Yeah.
We don't want you here.
Game's over. Just go home.
Go back to selling T-shirts.
Pack your bags. Ask Dad to buy you a new car next year.
Right.
So
Fund your real estate project.
yeah, just go do what you do. I don't know what it is you do, but just go do it.